Hello and welcome back to the Sawyer Center. Again, we apologize about these technical difficulties we're having. SWOSU was able to pick up the first set with a score of 25-21. We are now early in the second set with SNU out to an early lead, 2-1, and a big-time kill there for Bailey Terang to make that. I apologize, it's actually 5-2 now. Megan Ellis on the serve, and the Bulldogs go, but that goes too long, and that'll be another point for SNU. SNU jumping out to an early lead here in the second set, 6-2. Megan Ellis back to serve once again.
Now it is. It's going now.
Go out wide to home again, but it's dug out nicely by Megan Ellis, and a great dig to keep it alive there for the Bulldogs. But the set goes wide, and that'll be another point SNU. SNU already up 7-2 here early in the second set.
It's a really nice dump there by Smith. I was very surprised, though, the Bulldogs able to work with it a little bit, but the point still did end up going to Our Lady Storm.
Absolutely. So, with these technical difficulties, we'll stick with you here through this timeout that the Bulldogs have taken. Russ, what have you seen so far during this match?
Well, a really great close set there in the first. Saw some aggressiveness from Bailey Terang, Megan Ellis, and Kayla Thomas from the Storm with 8, 5, and 5 kills each. Just wasn't enough to overcome the SWOSU Bulldogs, who have really just been playing pretty well all around. We see names like number 16, Tackett, number 5, Hoang, and number 14, Sipa Borgad. And they've really just been passing the ball around well, getting a lot of people involved, and they've just had the upper hand here early.
Absolutely. One of the things I think they've done a really good job is they have the height advantage over the Storm, and they've used that well. They've gotten their hands up and made a few big-time blocks. Storm have gotten benefit sometimes of those blocks being a little too late and going wide, but for the most part, SWOSU's been able to use that height to their advantage and get those blocks in. But the Storm have really jumped out strong here in the second set, and it'll be interesting to see if they can ride that momentum and get a comfortable lead and cruise through the second set.
Absolutely. You bring up height, and we've got some live arms. You think of Terang, you think of Ellis when you think of live arms, but they aren't necessarily imposing figures up there as far as size, and I think that's really been hurting the Storm here in the first set.
Absolutely, but there you see Smith.
Oh my!
Big set, but a huge save there for SWOSU, as that was the libero Caitlin Dillon getting all the way back.
Thomas with a
to
block
keep it
at the
alive.
net. Another block. Net.
Kept it alive. There's Logan Morrison, and a set for Kayla Thomas, and she finds it.
Give it to her again.
She finds the hole and gets another point on the board for the Storm. That was really an exciting volley we just saw there. Both teams were playing hard, but in the end, the Storm were able to catch them out of position and get the point. Back over to Megan Ellis. And it just goes long. It looked like the Bulldogs were going to play it anyway, but just at the last second, Caitlin Dillon ducks out of the way, and it goes long. That'll make it 8-3. Big time dig there for the Bulldogs. But it goes long. Cody Avery unable to keep it in play, and that'll be another point. 9-3 now for Crimson Storm, who have really taken the second set by storm.
Oh.
Well, look at that. Kayla Thomas continues to play well as she gets an ace as it just bounces over the net.
I don't know if that's quite how they drew it up, but the ball just falling the right way for Thomas this evening.
See if she can do it again. This one more cleanly gets over, but it will be played out by the Bulldogs. Block at the net, unable to keep it in play. That'll be a point for the Bulldogs that'll go back to their side.
I've seen Kylie Smith been much more aggressive here this evening than she was last week already with 3 kills on the line, and I don't know that she had any last week. But we've seen her all over up in front of the net there on the block attempt. They went for naught, but it's been very exciting to see her more aggressive around the net.
Absolutely. Oh, great save there. Oh, but they're unable to keep it alive. Logan Matthews got the dig, and then Kylie Smith got all the way over there to keep it up, but no one else was able to get home to keep it alive. But that was a great effort there by Kylie Smith to just keep it alive on that play.
Storm rolling here still a little bit, though, with that 10-5 lead here in the second set.
Megan Ellis unable to get the dig quite where they needed it. It goes straight over to Bailey Terang, who was unable to get it back up, so that'll make it 10-6. SWOSU on a little run here.
I think maybe a little bit of miscommunication, but this is where the Storm really need to show some muscle. It's these runs by the other teams that really have gotten them this season, just losing momentum and unable to find ways to get it back.
There it is, but there it is, the connection. They finally find it again. Kylie Smith to Bailey Terang. Feels like we call that 50 times a game, but it comes through, and that'll be another kill for Bailey Terang, another assist for Kylie Smith.
Kylie Smith back to serve.
Bulldogs able to find the hole there, and they will get the point. We are at 11-7 now here in the second set.
Looked like Logan Matthews had a beat on that, but maybe thought it was going to go a little wide, decided not to mess with it, ended up having to bite the bullet on that one.
It'll be Clemson Lancaster to serve, and a great dig there by Megan Ellis to keep it alive. It'll be a free ball over to the Bulldogs. They go outside, and they get the block. They went outside to Sipa Burgo, but they get the block in there, and that'll be a point for the Storm. They are back up 5 here in set number 2.
Outstanding block by Bailey Grimes, the freshman from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I don't know that I've called that name yet, but that was an outstanding heady play from another freshman.
But then Bailey Terang unable to keep it in. That'll be a service error for Terang, and that'll put the ball back onto the side of the Bulldogs. We are at 12-8 now. It'll be libero Caitlin Dillon to serve for SWOSU. And there's a big-time kill, McKenna Hunter.
You know, the Lady Storm obviously had an incredible season last year. A lot of great names returned a lot of their squad. But some of these freshmen, I'm excited to continue watching Logan Matthews, who's already had an outstanding year. But excited now to watch Bailey Grimes some. See some of those freshmen stepping up into roles.
Absolutely, and then Bailey Grimes wisely lets it go out. She thought about playing it, but realized it was gonna go a wide right, and she lets it go, and that'll be a point for the Storm. Now up 6 in the set.
14-8 our score here. As the Lady Storm trying to draw even here in the match.
A block kept alive by Logan Matthews, but no one else is able to get to it. They were sputtering out of position a bit, and they couldn't quite get it back over the net, so it will be on the side of SWOSU for Cody Avery to serve this one. Kayla Thomas, she gets the kill. Kayla Thomas continues to have a great game. SWOSU was unable to react in time to that one, and it ends up going wide. Another point for the Storm, 15-9. Kayla Thomas already up to 7 kills in this one.
Talking about that youth movement, Kayla Thomas, just a sophomore.
Absolutely. There are a lot of young, great players on this SNU team, and it'll be exciting to watch them grow throughout the free ball, and spikes it right back into the Storm side, and that'll be a point. We're at 15-11. If you're the Storm, you definitely want to get this point here and not let this get any closer than it has with the start that they had, and they will do just that. Megan Ellis on the kill.
Right, what you talked about right there. That aggressiveness and that ability to keep the Bulldogs from rallying back. The Storm, like we talked about last week, able to get a good lead early, but really need to be sure to not let this turn into a closer set than it needs to be.
They'll go to Home again, but it's dug out there by Michaela Schoeneman.
An outstanding dig from the Bulldogs.
And home goes wide left. Another point for the Storm. We're at 17-11. So far, the Storm are doing a great job this set of not letting the Bulldogs get too close and catch too much momentum. Oh, but Kylie Smith goes for the dump, but it's unsuccessful as she goes right into the net. It was a great idea. She saw them trying to creep up, but she was unable to get it over there. And that'll lead to Elizabeth McVicker on to serve for the Bulldogs. Ooh, big time block there for the Bulldogs. Kylie Smith goes for another dump, but the Bulldogs are right there, and they take advantage. There's a kill. Megan Ellis unable to get to it. 17-13 now. Oh, a great dig there by Megan Ellis. Back over to Terang, and she takes advantage. She finds the hole and strikes quickly. 18-13 now.
That puts Terang into double digits now for kills just here in the second set, already with 10 on 20 attempts.
She just continues each night to improve on those stats, and it's absolutely crazy. And she does it again. She gets a free ball over the net and sends it right back onto the SWOSU side.
That'll make the Bulldogs think twice about those lazy balls right over the top of the net as Bailey Terang says, don't do that again. And
that will lead to SWOSU taking a timeout to talk about just that, not letting Bailey Terang find her spots, which she just did. And so with that, we will take a short break as well, and we will be back with you shortly. Welcome back to the Sawyer Center. SNU had the service error just as we were getting back. It is now 19-14 here in the second set. SWOSU took the first set, and it just goes over the net, but a great play there. McKenna Hunter kept it alive, and then SWOSU goes long. What an effort there for the Storm just to keep that alive. The serve tipped the net and got over, but McKenna Hunter got under it for a great dig to keep it alive, and the Storm take advantage.
2014 now for the Storm. Really need to close this set out.
It will be Kylie Smith to serve. And the Bulldogs find the hole again. Storm just a little bit slow to react there. And that'll lead to 20-15.
Bulldogs now back to serve.
It'll be Clemson Lancaster to serve. Looks like we have a short break in the action. Referees trying to clear up any confusion, make sure everyone's on the same page. And I think we're ready to go.
Yeah. SWOSU with 7 aces already in this match. The serving really been a strong suit for them this evening.
They've done a great job of finding the holes and not letting the Storm react. And wow, what a placement there. Big time play for the Storm. They got the block, and then I believe that was McKenna Hunter who just kind of tapped it over, noticing that the Bulldogs were all on the left side. And she just taps it over to the right side. Huge play there by the Bulldogs. That was a very strong attack, and they get the kill. Jenny Tackett, who has been very solid in this game with 8 kills so far for the Bulldogs.
Early on, the Bulldogs kind of distributing the ball well to everyone, but Tackett really stepping up now has kind of been their main contributor here of late.
And there's Megan Ellis.
Emphatic attack there by Ellis as she gets another point.
That'll be her 7th kill so far. So between Ellis, Thomas, and Terang, the Storm really, especially this set, have done a great job of getting in position to get those big-time kills.
Logan Matthews with the serve.
And that'll lead to a free ball. Kylie Smith tries to dump it, but Bulldogs react well, and they just place it right over the top of Ellis and Thomas, and nobody else is able to get home. 22-17 is our score here in the second set.
If you're with us Tuesday, last week, we talked a lot about the Crimson Storm's ability to close out in those mid-20s. Really struggled that, you know, they get to 21, they get to 22. In one game, got to 24 and just couldn't finish well. So that's really what we're looking for.
Oh, big block there. Was that, I believe, Elizabeth McVicker. She got the block. Kyla Thomas goes for the kill, and McVicker was right there. Yeah, as you were saying, they definitely struggled last Tuesday in closing out those sets. Over the weekend, they seemed to do a much better job of that on Saturday, winning 3-0 in all 3 sets being decided between 2 points. But we're seeing again those struggles continue to pop back up for these Storm. It is now 22-19. The Bulldogs will not go away, which will lead to a timeout for your Crimson Storm.
Just a couple of balls falling the wrong way here has really let the Bulldogs sneak their way back into this. Now a 3-point game set, 22-19, as Philip, that's closer than we wanted the Bulldogs to be in this set.
Absolutely. As we were talking about before, we really didn't want to get this down to 2 or 3 points, and we're down to 3 right now. With how the Storm started out this set, they were up 7-2 early, and you really wanted to let them ride that momentum and carry it on and keep that that distance between themselves. Once you get within 2 or 3 points, you know, anything can happen. A service error here or there, a block here or there, and all of a sudden you find yourselves back in a tie game, and, you know, first to 25 wins or winning by 2. So if the Bulldogs are able to get this any closer, all of a sudden we've got ourselves one that could go either way.
Absolutely. And, you know, it's something we've struggled with, but at the end of the day, anyone can struggle with it. A blown call, a ball just the wrong way. You want to close out these sets with a little bit of wiggle room.
Absolutely. So as they prepare to take the court again, we'll see if the Storm can make those adjustments and finish this off. They've been so up and down in finishing off these sets. They don't want to fall behind 2-0 here today. So they need to come out strong here out of this timeout and be in the right position.
Absolutely. Number 11, Bailey Grimes out there for the Storm here on these at the end of the set.
Megan Ellis, and she goes wide. They set her up, but she sends it wide right. It is 22-20 now. Bulldogs continue to claw their way back into this set number 2.
Number 1, senior Cody Avery back serving for the Bulldogs.
Back over to Megan Ellis, and it's dug out. Out wide to Sipa Bourgo, and she gets another one for the Bulldogs, 22-21. This has not been the start out of the timeout that SNU was looking for.
Philip, I didn't want to see it, but 22-21. The Bulldogs really just sneaking their way back into this game.
Absolutely. They continue to find SNU just a little out of position. They're not too much. They're so close, so they just have not quite gotten to the balls that they've needed to.
Number 4, freshman Gracie Miracle in the game.
Oh, great dig there for the Bulldogs. It looked like Kyla Thomas was for sure going to get the kill there.
You know, I'm just seeing a lot of spirit, a lot of momentum here on the Bulldogs side as that point will go to them. We are knotted up now, 22-22.
They go outside to Bailey Grimes, the freshman, but unfortunately she goes right into the net and it comes right back onto SNU's side. Knotted up at 22 apiece. We'll have another timeout here. We will take one with them, but don't go anywhere as this set is is drawing close as we wind down to the end of the set. Welcome back here to the Sawyer Center. Set number 2, tied at 22. The SWOSU Bulldogs have fought their way back into this set. SNU has not been able to close it out as they had a 5-point lead early in this set. But SWOSU, with all the momentum now, we'll see if the Storm can figure it out coming out of this timeout. They go to Kylie Thomas, but it's dug out there by Cody Avery, and they can't get the block in. SWOSU now has the lead. A huge run by the Bulldogs, and they are up and just 2 points away from taking this set number 2.
23-22 now. Bulldogs in the lead.
They go to Megan Ellis, and she goes long. The Storm just have seemed to have fallen apart here at the end of this set, and they are in danger of losing it. 1 point away for the Bulldogs.
This is a pivotal set right here for your Storm. The difference between 1-1 and 2-0 in a match score is going to be a lot here to overcome.
Megan Ellis, but it's dug out there by Sipa Bourgo, and they go for the kill, but a nice play there by Kylie Smith. It'll be a free ball for the Bulldogs.
They keep it alive.
Kylie Smith does dig it out. And another free ball for the Bulldogs. They continue to catch SNU out of position. Oh, it's saved, and they are able to get it, but again, a free ball for it, and they tip it over.
What an incredible volley here from both teams.
Oh, but the Storm, the miscommunication cost them. They finally are unable to get it returned, and the Storm fall in a set that they should have had, 25-22. SWOSU now up 2-0 on the match tonight.
And that's just too bad. Philip at one point in the broadcast, or in that set, sorry, up 7-2. And we really just need to do a better job of finishing there. The ladies still have a chance to really claw their way back into this one, but now facing a 2-0 deficit instead of a 1-1 tie.
Absolutely, yeah. It looked like SNU had all the control there, but just once the set came towards the end, they just could not get it together. The communication wasn't there. They were out of position, and SWOSU took advantage.
Absolutely.
But if we look at the stats so far here, through 2 sets, we've talked about Bailey Terang. You know, early on in that set, Bailey Terang, it was all her and Kayla Thomas. But by the middle of the set, they kind of they weren't in position, or they were unable to find them on the outside, and that's what really cost them. They got that lead because Terang and Thomas with their Terang with 11 kills and Thomas with 7 total in the match. You know, with the way that they were playing, that's how they got that lead. But once they weren't able to find them up there on the outside, then SWOSU took full advantage, and credit them for finding Tackett and finding Sipa Bourgo throughout that match and getting them in the right positions throughout that set.
And I don't know that the stats really tell the whole story here tonight. I think the Storm have done an excellent job when it comes to set pieces. You know, with the kills and the attacks have been really strong. But the story tonight has really been those free balls. The way that the Bulldogs have responded in scramble situations, and the way the Storm has just struggled to find balls falling their way.
Absolutely, yeah, we saw that quite a bit there. That last volley was a great volley we had, but the Storm just sent over 4 straight free balls for SWOSU, and when you're sending 4 straight free balls over, the likelihood that the other team's going to take that point is pretty high. So with that, we'll take a short break before we start this third set. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a minute, and we will see if your Crimson Storm can take this third set and extend this match. Welcome back here to the Sawyer Center. Your Crimson Storm currently down 2-0 as they were unable to close out that second set. It looked like they had it in control for that second set, but they did not finish very strong, and that gave the Bulldogs a chance to get back in it, and they ultimately took advantage, and now they are up 2-0. That means that this Storm certainly have to take this set if they want to extend this match.
And really discouraging here through the first 2 sets. You know, the Storm have played really well, but that 2-0 just doesn't do this match justice so far. So I'd really love to see the Storm try to get on the board here with a win in set 3.
Absolutely. We'll see Caitlin Dillon serve for SWOSU to begin with, and Storm will go to Megan Ellis, and and the Bulldogs are unable to get the block. It tipped and goes out of bounds. That'll be a point for SNU. Again, they take the first point.
Philip, what needs to happen here in the third set for the Storm?
I think that they've really got to focus on not getting out of position. You know, they've struggled a little bit in scramble situations, as we mentioned before, and that's got them out of position, and they haven't been able to get their play set up. They haven't been able to find Thomas and Terang on the outside as they're scrambling, just trying to keep the ball alive, and they're sending over those free balls. But there you see they find Megan Ellis on the outside, and she's able to get the kill. That's really what they got to do. They can't be scrambling. They can't find themselves out of position. You really want to get that first ball and get it into the center to Kylie Smith so that she can find your attackers on the outside.
Yeah, as much as I think, and there's a point for the Bulldogs, I think as much as the game's really going to depend on how the Storm close out the set, it's still encouraging to see the Storm get out to an early lead here. 2-1 now, was 2-0. And I hope they can really push early. We've seen a lot of success for them when they're able to get out ahead early and not have to worry about those late game situations.
Absolutely. We'll see what they do. And there you see a great setup and a great attack there by Thomas, but the Bulldogs take advantage, and it's a free ball on the side of the Storm.
Looking for the corner.
And they go back to Thomas, but is blocked. And there's the set, but another dig for the Storm. We've got a long volley going on here.
With the dump. Good volley here, and you know, less free balls. It's been a lot more structured here, as both teams have really looked solid.
And there, a great play, and it'll be a free ball on the side of the Storm. Dug out by Megan Ellis. And Kylie Thomas takes advantage.
Those long volleys turning into points for the Storm. That's got to be a momentum shifter, and I'm really excited to see that incredible attack and kill there by Kayla Thomas.
Absolutely. When you get those free balls, as we've been saying all night, you really need to take advantage, and that's just what the Storm did right there. Now up 3-1 here in set number 3. Ooh, a little dump, and she got it. Kylie Smith.
That was tricky with the no-look dump from Smith.
Absolutely. You know, she'd been setting them up all game for that with racking up assist after assist. She has 28 assists, and she had them completely ready to go for the block, and she just dumped it off. Great play by Smith.
Just well done. You know, you got 28 assists in the set or in the match, and
oh, a big time dig there. Bulldogs keep it alive, but it will be a free ball for the Storm. Smith going to Terang, but a block, but it goes wide.
Out of bounds.
5-1. Once again, Crimson Storm coming out of the break strong, but can they keep it up throughout this third set?
Like I was saying, 29 assists now on the match, coming off a record-breaking 66 last week. She'd fool me too if she went for that dump.
Absolutely.
Just versatile all around.
Certainly. I love seeing the aggressiveness, and there's a big block for the Storm.
Number 6, Bailey Terang, emphatic block at the net.
The SWOSU tried to go out wide to McVicker, but they were ready for it, and they got their hands up. That's what you love to see from the Storm.
And an ace from the Storm, only their second of the day, but that's big as we go up 8-1.
Yeah, the Bulldogs thought that was going long, and they let it go, but it lands inside a big-time ace for Megan Ellis. And it'll be a timeout for the Bulldogs as the Storm have raced out to a 7-1 lead here in the third set. As we're taking a break in the action here at the Sawyer Center, we'll go ahead and look at a couple other games going on in the Great American Conference. As we're talking about, they were just kicking off conference play right now, but we're seeing Northwestern Oklahoma State absolutely take it to their opponent right now. Oklahoma Panhandle State is they have just about finished off Oklahoma Panhandle State. They're up 2-0. They're up 23-13 here there in the third set. So just a couple more points for Northwestern Oklahoma State to finish them off. Northwestern Oklahoma State been off to a pretty fast start so far this season at 10-4. And then elsewhere in the Great American Conference, we've got Oklahoma Baptist taking it to Southeastern Oklahoma State. Oklahoma Baptist also up 2-0, and they're up 20-15 there in the third set. So that's been one of the tighter sets we've seen. But Oklahoma Baptist really has looked strong so far in their conference opener as well. So those are a couple matches going on to keep an eye on and moving forward, and seeing those are teams that we'll see plenty of this season moving forward.
Back here where the action's at 7-1, an incredible start to this set for your Lady Storm as Megan Ellis is back to serve, hoping to keep this momentum going here.
It'll be Kylie Smith, and she'll go to Logan Thomas. Dig there by Cody Avery. It'll go, and that'll lead to a free ball for the Storm.
Just barely over the net there. Tough to work with. The Storm dug it out.
Left that one a little far for Bailey Terang. She gets it over, but not quite as effective as you would have liked there. And oh, Kylie Smith goes for the little dump over, but it's blocked, and that'll be a point for the Bulldogs.
A tough block there from Elizabeth McVicker, and that was just excellent play at the net.
You love seeing that though from Kylie Smith, going for that. You know, when she has that added element of both attacking and setting, that just makes it so much tougher to defend. Oh, a huge dig there. Caitlin Dillon, that looked for sure like a point for Bailey Terang, but she got on the floor and kept it alive for the Bulldogs.
Bulldogs responding well here, as SNU's been extremely aggressive here in this volley, but...
And there it is. Kayla Thomas on a set from who else but Kylie Smith.
Finally able to make good on one of those attacks. Bulldogs that were able to dig out 3 or 4 there in a row, but the Storm just stayed after it.
Absolutely. You love to see that, you know. You just keep that pressure on, keep forcing them, and eventually they'll be out of position and won't be able to make the play. Oh, but a poor set there. Sipapur go, unable to get enough lift on the ball, and it does not get anywhere. That'll be another point for the Storm.
A tough play from her there, though, but I think the Bulldogs will excuse it as she's had a really strong match so far. 7 kills, 8 points. That was very uncharacteristic play from her. As the Storm will get the call on that one, it'll be out of the back. As that was close, but I love to see that 10-2 SNU lead.
Absolutely, that was just beyond the line. That was very, very close, but the Storm do get the benefit, and they are racing out in front of this third set. You love to see that, 10-2. A nice dig there by Michaela Shoneman. They go to McKenna Hunter, dug out there by Cody Avery. Back to home, and it lands in. Another close call. This one goes the way of the Bulldogs, 10-3 now.
Won't get the same result there, but the Lady Storm we've seen in this set, just a different team than we saw in the first two sets. They've really jumped out to I guess a bigger lead this set than they did in the second, but it's been very good to see as another point goes your Storm way.
And that'll be McKenna Hunter. She finds the hole, not too much force behind it, but sometimes you don't need that, and that'll be another point to make it 11-3.
All about the placement.
Absolutely. McKenna now up to 4 kills and 5 points on the day.
Kylie Smith back serving.
Oh, Storm go for the block. Sophia Gruden, we haven't called much today, but she's able to get the kill. The SNU does not get the block, and that'll be a point for the Bulldogs, 11-4.
Hunter and Grimes on the play there. I think they were expecting that attack to be much more aggressive, and it really caught him off guard there with a soft touch.
Absolutely. That'll be Megan Ellis there on the dig off the serve, though. Blocked there by the Bulldogs. And a big play again, Sophia Gruden. She hasn't played much in this one, but she has taken advantage of her minutes for the Bulldogs. That's a couple of points now in a row for the Bulldogs off of the back of Sophia Gruden. Kelly Thomas to Bailey Terang, and she hits the net. Bulldogs again finding their stride as they are fighting back here in the third set to make this 11-6.
The Bulldogs now with 4 unanswered as SNU needs to find a way to break up this momentum they've got going.
Absolutely.
Maybe that'll start as it's just a little bit too strong from Bailey Terang. I thought maybe we had something going there on the set from Kylie Smith, but
and it looked like she didn't quite hit that one as cleanly as she would have liked, and so it didn't quite have the accuracy that she was hoping for. We are now looking at 11-7 here in the third set, and we have a timeout by the Storm. We'll take one alongside with them. Don't go anywhere. We will be back within the next minute. Welcome back to the Sawyer Center here in Bethany, Oklahoma. Your Crimson Storm in a third set against SWOSU Bulldogs. SWOSU has taken a 2-0 advantage here, so SNU desperately needs to take this third set, and that'll certainly help. Bailey Terang comes through. It seems like that happens so often out of a timeout. The Storm do so well of finding their plays right out of a timeout and getting the advantage. That'll be 12-7. Bailey Terang will now be back to serve.
Yeah, great response out of the break. Broke up the little run going there by the Bulldogs after they'd scored 5 unanswered.
See, there's a dig by Terang. Kylie Smith lets it go back for Grimes. Home, she dumps it over, and Storm are unable to get to it. Home really has had a nice game in the limited playing time she has had throughout this one. She has 6 kills throughout the game so far. Lancaster to serve for the Bulldogs. And there's Grimes, the freshman, coming in strong right there on the set. by Kylie Smith. We said it before, we love to see these freshmen getting involved like this, and so that was a great play by Grimes to get the point for the Storm.
Yeah, her second kill of the night, just in her second game of the night. And
that's going to be an ace for Logan Matthews. Bulldogs unable to dig it out. Logan Matthews gets the ace, make it 14-8.
Man, and just a momentum shift out of that timeout as the Storm have really come back onto the court with the secret stuff here.
Absolutely. Oh, and a great dig there. Grimes again.
A little cross attack there by Megan Ellis.
Oh, and the block leaves it short for Matthews and Terang on the outside. It was just tipped and they couldn't quite get to it. That'll be a point for the Bulldogs. It was a great effort though. You love getting those hands up, and it just was an unfortunate bounce for the Storm on that play. It'll be Ellis dug out there by the Bulldogs. Oh, and a big time kill there for the Bulldogs. Storm unable to dig it out. Elizabeth McVicker on the kill.
14-10 now the score is this set has bounced between 4-6 point game here the last couple of points.
Absolutely. This is feeling a little bit like the last set that we saw, and you're hoping that the Storm are able to close it out as they were unable to in set number 2. Kylie Smith unable to fully get control of the ball there. She gets a hand on it, but it just goes straight out of bounds. We are now at 14-11.
Back within 3. The Bulldogs sneaking back into this match, or in this set, but I'm really hoping this is an earlier run than we've seen so far. As the Storm just in the teens, maybe they'll have time to respond this time.
Absolutely, that will help, but oh, a big time dig there for the Bulldogs. I thought that would be a kill for Ellis, but she doesn't quite get it, and a big block for the Bulldogs. We thought Thomas, she goes in strong for the kill, but again, McVicker gets the block.
Thomas met at the net, and McVicker's played very well, very dominant force there at the net. Just really tough to go at her with the attacks.
Absolutely. At 6'1", she has done a great job, and she does it again with a block. This time, the Storm able to recover, though. Free ball for the Bulldogs. They're going to go outside and a block, but they can't do anything with it. It goes wide left. 14-13 now. Again, the Bulldogs, they have just been unfazed no matter what the score has been.
All right, now that early lead we saw in the set is gone, and now time for the Crimson Storm to play even here with the Bulldogs, as both teams now looking for some momentum.
And a big dump off there for the Bulldogs. Logan Matthews unable to get to it. It is tied 14 apiece. We are at a set to 11 now.
And that's okay, you know, reset. It's a new match here, 0-0 in a short set. Your Storm's still in this one. Just needing to find a way to not let the beginning of this set
and that'll help
them.
Kayla Thomas again. Give her 10 kills on the day.
That's what you like to see, as Michaela Schoeneman now back to serve.
She comes in for Grimes. A nice block.
Met at the net.
I believe that was Kayla Thomas again on the block. She is having herself one heck, or it was Megan Ellis, I apologize. Megan Ellis on the block. Kayla Thomas also in the area.
A nice little surge there after it was knotted up. 16-14 now. Your Lady Storm out in front here in set 3, as we've got a little cleanup down on the court.
Looks like we're still worrying about a little area on there, but I think it's all cleaned up. I think we're ready to go.
Schoeneman back to serve again.
Bulldogs go and is blocked again. Back-to-back blocks there for the Storm. Was that Ellis and Thomas once again?
It sure did look like it. I love to see that energy. Look at them getting excited. That's the kind of rallying cry we want to see from these the Storm this evening, as they're really getting excited here, trying to come back from a 2-0 match deficit.
Another block.
Again.
Again.
Oh, my word.
The hands are flying for the Storm right now. 3 blocks in a row. Once again, you've got Ellis and Thomas right there in the middle. I'm liking this combination with those two at the front.
And as good as those points have been moving forward, if you're the Bulldogs, this is throwing off your plan, you know? This is, as the point there goes to the Bulldogs, this is going to make you rethink and then maybe try to figure out where you're attacking, because those last 3 attacks right down the middle, nothing happening.
Absolutely. They have not been able to get it over the top of Thomas and Ellis over the middle. That time they went wide, and it was Thomas and Smith, and they couldn't quite get to it. But there's a little dump for Ellis, but dug out. And that one goes long. Oh, no, it looks like SNU got a fingertip on it. I thought it went wide, but SNU got a finger on it. Point for the Bulldogs. 18-16 is your score here in the third set.
Number 1, Cody Avery back to serve for the Bulldogs.
And she finds the hole. A perfectly placed serve there for the Bulldogs as Michaela Schoeneman is unable to dig it out. It is 18-17.
Wipe that run off the board. Now we're back close, 18-17.
It'll be Smith to Ellis, and it's blocked, and a point for the Bulldogs. They've really been working that left side with Ellis, but the Bulldogs have done a good job of not letting that affect them and getting their hands up just in time to keep the ball alive.
Timeout on the floor. And just a really closely played set here. You know, it's been a great set. We saw the Storm get out to an early lead, and then we watched SWOSU claw back into it. But 18-18 now, looking at the back end of this, what could be the match set.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you're SNU, you certainly have to find a way to come out strong out of this timeout. We've seen them do that quite a bit. You know, it seems like out of timeouts, they've done a really good job of being focused, being in the right position, and being able to set up those playmakers on the outside. Like I said earlier, it seems like so often we see Kylie Smith to Bailey Terang out of a timeout and a quick point ball back on SNU's side. So you're hoping that out of this timeout, the Storm can find that and find that groove and get that little run. Hopefully their lag that we've seen on multiple occasions now is already gone, and they can finish this set out strong.
Absolutely. You know, a credit to Coach Kevin Ingram. It seems like out of those timeouts, it kind of turns into a 3, maybe 4-point swing for the Storm. Maybe they can turn it into a couple more. You know, looking for 7 here. Game to 7 now.
Absolutely. We'll see what we can do as we've got Thomas, Ellis, Terang, Matthews, Smith, and Schoeneman out on the floor for the Storm.
Upswing for the Bulldogs. Cody Avery back there. She's got 3 aces in the day, and it's just been a great presence back there serving all night.
And this time they'll go to Thomas out of the timeout. And what do we, we've got, I believe, a net violation on Megan Ellis. And that'll be a point for the Bulldogs.
I thought that was going to be a nice unassisted attack, but it will be for naught as the Storm now down 18-19.
We'll see how they respond now being down for the first time in a while, and that'll certainly help. Bulldogs unable to get control of the ball, and they tip it out of bounds. Again, tied at 19. Megan Ellis now back to serve for your Storm.
Storm with the control here.
Megan Ellis over to Terang. It'll be a free ball for the Bulldogs. They're going to go out wide to Sipaporgo. And a great play there by the Storm to keep it alive.
The Bulldogs arguing that was four touches. Maybe someone got a piece of that.
And I think they called it a block for the Storm, and they take advantage of that, and they'll get the point.
Some wry smiles from the Bulldog bench, but that's a great key point there going SNU's way.
Absolutely. That'll put us at 20-19 here in the third set. Storm desperately need these last 5 points here in set number 3.
Oh, and a nice dump.
And the Storm just didn't quite recognized what was happening. Not quite all on the same page, weren't ready for the dump. Great play by the Bulldogs to bring this to 20 apiece.
Now a game to 5.
This has been a great third set, back and forth action we've seen throughout the evening. They go out to Terang, blocked, but they can't do anything with it. Bailey Terang again, 21-20.
Megan Ellis checks in for Logan Matthews as SNU now with a very aggressive lineup here. A lot of those attack girls up there in the front row, hoping to try and finish out this third set.
And there's an ace from Kayla Thomas.
An unlikely hero, but we'll take points anywhere we can get at this point.
Absolutely, that's 2 aces now for Kayla Thomas.
This has been a big swing as far as aces go. I know we mentioned early in the broadcast, SWOSU was up 7-1 as far as aces go, and now 8-5 as SNU's had 5 aces here as of late. That's been a big part of this close set here in set number 3.
Absolutely, yeah. We know we've seen now, as we mentioned, 2 aces from Kayla Thomas. We have 2 from Logan Matthews and 1 from Megan Ellis. So you love getting those points that way. Unfortunately, there are 5 service errors for the Storm as well, opposed to only 1 for SWOSU at this point. And that's been one of the main differences is those unforced errors that you have, and that has cost the Storm at times.
It has, and you know those late game rallies seem to be where those happen. The balls just aren't falling Storm's way, and that's where those errors have caught them. You know, this match has really been a great one to watch, but a little competition on the side. I don't know if you've noticed this. We've got a little assist battle brewing here between Kylie Smith and number 5 for the Bulldogs, Ali Huang. 31 assists for Huang and 37 for Kylie Smith, as those 2 setters have been getting after it.
Absolutely. They've done a great job of finding their attackers on the outside. We've seen that multiple times of those attackers just getting in position and then finding them. So both setters of each team have done a great job. And there's going to be a point, and just as we were talking about finding your attackers on the outside, the Storm just do that, and surprise, it's from Ali Huang, and she's up to 32 now, and we are at 22-21.
Nail-biting time here at the Sawyer Center as the Storm trying to make a match of this. As blocked at the net by Megan Ellis, but it looks like they're going to call that it went out of bounds, or off to the right, sorry.
I believe that was McKenna Hunter who got up there, but unfortunately she doesn't quite keep it in play, but a good effort in getting those hands up.
The Bulldogs draw even at 22-22.
They're going to go over to Terang. Dug out there by Sipapurgo. And Holm, she finds the hole. Terang unable to get to it. She tries to dig it out, but just can't quite get there in time. And your Storm are in danger of dropping this set as well. They are now down 23-22. If you're the Storm, you've got to find a way to answer right here. You cannot let this become match point.
Smith to Terang.
And she takes advantage. That's just what the Storm needed. We are tied at 23 apiece.
Shauneman will take a seat while freshman Bailey Grimes checks into the game.
Trying to get some extra size out there for the Storm and finish this set off. Then going to Holm. Dug out there by Ellis. But it led right to the Bulldogs. And I believe that was Sophia Gruden again. Again, we keep saying she has not played much in this match, but she has made her presence felt when she has been in there. And we are now at match point. The Bulldogs 1 point away from sweeping this match, this conference opener.
But not if Bailey Terang has anything to say about it. Again, Smith Terang trying to keep in the game. 24-24 as we're going to get some extra points here in the third set. I love to see your Lady Storm trying to stay aggressive.
Absolutely. They are doing all that they can to keep this match alive. So they will go to Terang to serve. She's got that fast serve, but it is dug out by the Bulldogs. A nice dig, and but it goes long. Again, back to match point for the Bulldogs, 25-24. That was a good effort on the dig, but unable to keep it fully under control, and it goes wide. It'll be Lancaster to serve for the Bulldogs. Dug out by Matthews.
Little poke aiming for the back corner there by the Storm. Block
Nice.
at the net.
Huge block. Huge block by the Storm.
I think freshman Bailey Grimes.
Grimes and Ellis both were there. We've seen, or McKenna Hunter, I'm sorry. Grimes and Hunter both making a huge play for the Storm. Grimes has been big while she's been in there for the Storm this evening.
So far, those blocks have been the savior of the set as the Storm trying to get the advantage here, 25-25.
They'll go out wide. Place dug out by Ellis. The set by Smith. Ellis again.
Blocked at the net by Bailey Grimes again, 26-25.
Bailey Grimes is having herself a coming out party here this evening. She has played an absolutely incredible match, doing everything she can to keep the Storm alive. Storm now at the advantage, 26-25. Can they finish this set off? Little dump, dug out by Grimes.
Ooh, good save there.
Free ball, nice save by Thomas again. They're gonna go to Grimes, and she finds it!
Grimes, the savior of the set, the savior of the match maybe. What an incredible series of events here at the Sawyer Center. Bailey Grimes.
Absolutely, she comes through 2 huge blocks there at the end, and then she gets the kill on the assist from Bailey Terang on a ball that led her a little wide, but she's able to take advantage. She finds the hole, and she extends this match to a 4th set. Huge play down the stretch from Bailey Grimes.
She didn't play a whole lot of that set, checked in maybe at 23, 24 points, but when she checked in, man, she really was a spark factor there for the Lady Storm.
Absolutely. You know, looking at her and what she's done, she had 3 kills and 5 total points so far in the match, and she's just done an incredible job. She's been a spark plug for this team here in that 3rd set.
That was extremely encouraging to watch there. Your Storm able to really rally there and to keep this match going. You know, a lot of people here were packing up the bags, getting ready to head for the doors as the Storm were looking to drop 3-0 there.
Absolutely, yeah. They were down to match point twice there in that set, but they showed a lot of heart, a lot of hustle, and a lot of patience to find the places that they need to be and find the holes there late in that set.
Yeah, and that's what you want to see. It really. I'm so happy the Storm were able to make that comeback, but it really would have been a shame to drop that 3-0 because what we've been watching here tonight, Philip, has not been a 3-0 match.
Absolutely not. And we've seen, it feels like SNU really has been in control most of the time, but they've just let the Bulldogs go on those runs, and the Bulldogs are taking advantage. And that's what good teams do. They take advantage whenever they have what's there in front of them, and SWOSU's been able to do that, and SNU has let them do that.
Absolutely, you say it. The Storm's really been the aggressor in this home match. You'd love to see that, but allowing SWOSU to respond, and SWOSU's just out-responded thus far in the match.
Absolutely, but as we wind down this break and take a look at we take a look at the Great American Conference and what's been going on over there, we see that Northwestern Oklahoma State ends up finishing off Oklahoma Panhandle State 3-0, as does Oklahoma Baptist. So both of those 2 teams will move to 2-0 or to 1-0 in the conference here on the first night of conference play. Both really in control of their matches from the get-go. So those are going to be some tough teams that we're going to have down the stretch, and we're really going to have to see SNU be able to play a little bit more under control than we've seen throughout this match.
And your Storm going to be pinned against the wall for the rest of the night as every set could be game or match set from here out, trying to claw their way back up from a 2-0 lead.
Absolutely. You know, it was tough losing that 2nd set. We said it at the time. It's so hard to be down 2-0 whenever you could be at 1-1, and they had that huge lead in the 2nd set, and they let it slip away, and the Bulldogs took advantage. So now they've got the uphill battle to climb, but they've taken the first step in winning that 3rd set.
For sure, Philip, and they've proved to us they're willing and able to come back a little bit and win in late game situations. Something maybe we didn't see a ton of in their home opener, but something they have come out and they have said, we are willing to take you 27, 28 points in. We're willing to stick with it and be scrappy and even go a little bit to the bench there with some freshmen, and we can beat you a lot of different ways.
Absolutely, and we see that Grimes takes the floor once again. She's staying on the floor with that spark plug that she gave the Storm there in that third set. They're going to continue to try to roll with her moving forward.
Logan Matthews back to serve as our fourth set is underway.
They go to Holm, and Holm is able to get the kill, get the Bulldogs on the board to begin the match. Again, we said it before, she hasn't had a whole lot of playing time, but she has certainly taken advantage as she's up to 10 kills now in the match.
Grimes with the block attempt on that last play. Still trying to stay aggressive, and I like that, but she has 3 blocks already, or 1 block and 2 block assists on the day, and I think all of those may have come in our last set.
And we see Smith go for the dump, but the Bulldogs were ready that time. A nice dig there by Ellis, but it goes a little long. Smith unable to get to it. That'll be another point for the Bulldogs. They take an early 2-0 advantage.
Something we haven't gotten to see yet from your Storm, an opportunity to respond. We've kind of been the aggressors in early set situations, so now we get to see how they react to a 2-0 lead, or a deficit, sorry.
And that'll certainly help.
Right there.
Smith finds Thomas again to put your Storm on the board here in the fourth set. We are now at 2-1.
Once again, a kill race with Bailey Terang and Kayla Thomas, 17-12 now, but that has really been big for your Crimson Storm.
Absolutely, yeah. The way Thomas has played in this one has been big in keeping the Storm alive. It'll be a free ball, and Ellis tries to find the hole, and a great play, but
oh my goodness!
Megan Ellis, she was just waiting on it. She knew that everyone had flown to the right side for the Bulldogs, and Megan Ellis just waited on the free ball and just sent it flying back onto the Bulldogs side. That'll be an unassisted kill for Megan Ellis, 2-2.
Great offense from the Storm there. The Bulldogs were just reeling all over the place, trying to recover from that, and by the time Ellis got to it, 5 out of 6 of those Bulldogs were out of place, and 7/8 of the court was wide open.
Yeah, there was really anywhere Ellis wanted to go with the ball there, she could have hit it, and that would have been a point for the Storm. So a great job of her being in position to take advantage.
Storm now with the serve. Michaela Schoeneman back to serve.
And she sends it just a bit long. That was close, but it goes long. That'll be another service error for your Storm. That's their 6th of the match so far. SWOSU with the 3-2 advantage.
That was a tough call right there in the corner. I thought she might get the call, but not that time.
Nice dig there by Terang off the serve. They go to Thomas.
Oh, and they don't get the line there.
That was close. Thomas goes for the left side, her right side, but it just misses on the outside. 4-2 now is your score.
A couple of close pivotal calls there on the lines now. Have the Storm down 2.
It'll be Smith to Ellis, and she gets the kill.
When you're not getting help from those line judges, just the no-doubters, I guess, are a way to go.
That's the way to do it. Megan Ellis really is coming out strong here in that fourth set. She's found her rhythm, it seems, a little bit, and she's taking advantage. We'll go to Holm, a block. It'll be Smith over to Terang, and that'll be a point. She gets a kill.
The Storm now already made up for those 2 tough calls. 4-4 here in the fourth set.
We have seen a lot of back and forth action in this one, and it's been exciting to watch.
Bailey Terang once again showing a lot of that veteran leadership for your Storm as she's chasing up towards 20 kills.
But that'll be a kill for the Bulldogs this time. Logan Matthews unable to quite get enough on that dig.
Jenny Tackett with her 11th now is home. Sippa Bargo and Tackett now all with 11 kills apiece.
Yeah, they have done a great job of spreading the ball around because they even have Gruden and McVicker with 5 kills each and Huang with 4 kills. So they have done a great job of spreading the ball around and keeping the Storm on their toes. Well, there's going to be a dump, but Smith can't find the inbounds, and it goes wide, 6-4.
Trying to paint the corners there with that one, and just couldn't find the line.
Shoneman with a poor dig. It sends them flying. Ellis tries to save it, but they can't. 7-4. Another little run here for the Bulldogs. 3 points in a row. Shoneman off the serve just couldn't quite control the ball, and it sent all of the Storm railing. And
another
again,
rough volley for the Storm as they're struggling just to return serves at this point.
yeah, that one was Ellis who couldn't quite get control of the ball in that serve, and that'll be back-to-back aces.
Ingrid will call a timeout as the Storm try to figure out what's going wrong there on the 4-point rally by the Bulldogs.
And with that timeout, we will take a quick timeout as well. Don't go anywhere. Stay here on SNUathletics.com, and we will be back shortly.
Back here at the Sawyer Center with where the Crimson Storm of SNU are facing the Southwestern Oklahoma State Bulldogs. Here in the 4th set, 8-4, the Bulldogs are in the lead.
And that'll make it 9-4. Again, another ace for the Bulldogs. Even out of the timeout, the Storm just have not been able to get that return over. That's 3 straight aces for the Bulldogs.
Usually out of those timeouts, Ingram Storm are able to respond in some way, so look for them to respond here early, but returning those serves has been a struggle over the last 3 or 4 points.
They do get this serve over. We've got a volley going now. They're going to go out wide to Terang, but a big block. A nice dig, though, by Ellis. She keeps it alive. We're still going to dump. Another dig for Terang. They go over to Terang, but she sends it long. Good effort by the Storm on that one, keeping the ball alive multiple times, but now they are down 6 here in set number 4. You cannot fall behind any more here in this 4th set.
And the net, that could be the spark the Storm need.
It looked like Kylie Smith wasn't quite ready for the serve, so the Storm caught a break there as that ball goes into the net, and that'll be a point for the Storm, 5-10 now. A little bit of unfamiliar territory for the Storm being down here early in a set as they have marched out in most games to a quick start in each set, but that'll help as that attack goes wide and a point for the Storm.
Good eye by Shoneman over there on the right side. Keeps the serve in Kayla Thomas's hands.
6-10 our score here now. Nice dig there by Ellis. Smith to Terang, and she is a little wide on the attack. A point for the Bulldogs. You know, it was a great play set up. It looked great, just one of those you just quite missed the corner. And they're going to go for it again. It was blocked at the net as she went for the dump, but Terang was able to keep it alive. Volley's still going.
Yeah, good recovery by Terang there after the soft attack.
They'll go for it again. Dugout. Oh, a great dig by Ellis, still in play. It'll be a free ball for the Bulldogs. Go out wide. They go for the dump. I think that would have gone out, but it's kept alive by the Bulldogs, so SNU catches a little break.
Great volley here.
They're going to go out wide, and She sends it wide. Point for SNU. What a great volley. A lot of action going on there. Both teams working hard to keep that ball alive.
You know, that was the first volley there I've seen in a while where it really felt like the Bulldogs were on the attack, with SNU trying to respond each time, but it went SNU's way there. Shawneman made another good eye on the right side.
And there they go for the block. I believe that was Terang who went for the block, but unable to get it back over the net. 12-7 your score now. Bulldogs slowly pulling away. You've got to make a run here if you're the Storm.
Keeping it manageable here. Still early in the early teens with 12 points, but.
And there's another ace for the Bulldogs.
The Storm really need to look to keep it here close through the middle points. Cody Avery back to serve for the Bulldogs.
It'll be a free ball. A big block there by Terang, but still alive.
Out again, though, on the right side. Another point, Storm, 8-13. A very typically aggressive SNU Storm has been thriving and succeeding here, allowing the Bulldogs to make their own mistakes. Block at the net. Another block at the net.
They're going to go out wide.
Bailey
they dump
Grimes.
it over, and big dump there by Sipa Purgo. Gets a Bulldogs on the board again.
That one just barely over her reach, but a couple of solid blocks there again by Bailey Grimes, the spark plug.
Bailey Terang on the dig. They go over, and McKenna Hunter put some power on that one. They were not able to get the block. 14-9 is your score now.
And she'll check out as freshman Logan Matthews back to take this serve. A free ball at the net. What's the call? They're going to give the point to the Bulldogs. Say the Storm touched it there on the play at the net.
Yeah, we have both players going for the ball there, and I guess it went out last on the Storm. 15-9.
Little 6 point, trailing by 6 points here. The Storm really need to push here through the middle. Make sure they're close late. Much easier to make a run here in the middle teens than it is when you're looking down a match point.
Absolutely. We'll see what the Storm can do. And they go for a little dump. Was that Grimes again? She has had herself a fantastic match here.
After a couple of those tough blocks, she goes with the soft approach on the attack there. Just taps it down in the open spot. Grimes, loving what I'm seeing from her tonight.
She has certainly been the spark that the Storm have needed to keep this match alive, and we'll see what they can do. But a big-time attack there. Terang unable to get to the dig. It is 16-10. We're going to go to Thomas. But a nice dig, but it leads to a free ball for the Storm. They're going to go out wide to Ellis. And Bulldogs go for the block, but they can't get it back over. Point for the Storm. They are hanging in there.
16-11, still hanging around, keeping it manageable as the Storm not willing to go away quite yet.
That was Megan Ellis on the kill. That is her 12th for the match, but there, another service error that continues to bite the Storm in this one. That is now 7 service errors in the match for the Storm compared to only 2 for SWOSU. (17-11) is your score here in the 4th set. SWOSU leads 2-1. We've got a timeout on the floor for your Crimson Storm. We will take a timeout alongside with them. Don't go anywhere. We will be back with you shortly. Welcome back here to the Sawyer Center here in set number 4. SWOSU leads 17-11. Storm trying to keep this match alive. We've got a little dump by Smith, but it's played by the Bulldogs. Oh, a huge dig there by Ellis. What a play.
Turned into an incredible pass by Smith as Terang is able to get the attack down, but we're still going here.
And they go back to Terang, block, but they can't get it over the net. Storm finally able to end that one. They had some great chances and some great plays, and they finally get the point. 12-17 is your score here in set number 4.
Hanging around.
It'll be Thomas on the serve. A dump. Well played there by the Bulldogs.
Just caught him sleeping there with that dump.
The Storm were spread out wide, and she goes right into the middle, finds the hole, 18-12. Your Storm certainly have to make a run here sooner rather than later. They are running out of time. Megan Ellis, a poor dig attempt there, unfortunately unable to get control, 19-12 now.
Another ace for SWOSU. That's 13 now on the match for them, just through 4 sets. Chance for McKenna Hunter.
Bulldogs are there. They go to Sipperbergo, dug out by Ellis. A little dump, but a block. And SNU, again, the communication just wasn't quite there. Not everyone on the same page. And they are unable to get the ball back over the net. 20-12 is your score now here in the 4th set. SWOSU just 5 points away from taking this match.
SNU in need of a big comeback here, big rally, as we hope to get it going here. Oh, man.
A huge dig there. That was a great attack by Terang, but a big dig. But they're still able to get the point. McKenna Hunter, she gets it over the net, over the block, and it is now 20-13.
Only 6 kills for Hunter tonight. A little bit of a slower match for her, but still able to provide that late match spark right there as Storm trying to overcome now just a 7-point lead.
We've got another spot there on the floor that they're taking care of, but it looks like everything's cleared off and we're ready to go, which will lead to Kylie Smith back to serve for the Storm. Nice dig there by Ellis. Kylie Smith leaves it over, and she finds the hole.
And how did she do that? With the over the back, wasn't looking at all and found some real estate.
Yeah, what a great shot. I'm not sure if she meant to place it there or not, but it certainly worked out.
20-14 now. Staying relevant, the Storm trying to claw back into this.
Yeah, they've been right around this range this whole set, around this 5 to 6 range, and they really haven't been able to draw any closer than that, but they're going to have to make that run now. A nice block there. That was Terang and Hunter there for the block. 20-15. This could be the beginning of that run that we were talking about.
A great block at the net there. 2015, 5-point deficit now as SNU working their way back into this thing.
Yeah, we've seen them in the position where they're the ones that are ahead late in the set. We'll see if they're able to come from behind this time.
Like you're saying, this is a new form of Storm volleyball for us. We don't get to see this very often as another point goes your Storm, or goes, sorry, to the Bulldogs there, 21-15. But coming from behind, not something we've gotten to watch a lot of from the Storm.
Not at all. We have seen them jump out early, but typically they have not dealt with deficits. So we'll see what kind of response we can get from them here late going as they're down to their final 4 points. And we've got a violation on the Bulldogs. That'll be a point for SNU. Huge break for the Storm right there to get them within 5 here late in the 4th set.
Bailey Terang back to serve, and it's going to go out of the back. Just a little bit too strong on that as it's now 22-16.
That was very, very close to the line, but it was just a bit long, which leads to the 8th service error for the Storm, 22-16.
That's been a big storyline here. 8 service errors for the Storm and 13 aces for the Bulldogs.
But there's the service error for the Bulldogs. They come right back and they go long as well, making this 22-17. Only the 3rd service error for the Bulldogs in this one.
Yeah, that part of their game's been pretty tight so far today. That little slip, though, leaving the door open.
That does leave the door open for the Storm. Are they able to take advantage? We've got Smith out to Ellis, and she can't keep it in bounds. That one stays wide, 17-23. Storm down to their final 2 points.
Oh, Kayla Thomas.
Kayla Thomas with the emphatic attack and the kill there. Incredible job, set up in the perfect position by Kylie Smith. She finds the hole, 23-18. Your Storm just will not go away.
5 points now as Shauneman back to serve. Good dig there by Bailey Terang.
And another great dig by Logan Matthews. They go to Ellis, but dug out by the Bulldogs. And it lands in.
Oh, that's a tough call. You can see the disagreement there on Kevin Ingram's face. He's not so sure about that one, and I might be with him. That was a tough call here late in the match.
Absolutely. With the way it's been going back and forth and those tough calls, they just seem to be adding up against the Storm in this one, and they are down to match point. They've been down to this point a couple of times, but they did not have this deficit they were dealing with at those points. So we'll see how they can respond, but that'll certainly help. Thomas again set up by Smith, making this 24-19. Smith now up to 50 assists in this one. Not quite her 66 she set last week, but still a great showing for her in this match.
Well, the Storm can stay in this match with a win here in set number 4. She might have a chance at that record again.
But Thomas goes for it. She goes wide, and that will be your match. SWOSU takes this final set 25-19. They win it 3-1. We will take a short break, and we'll come back with our final stats and final recap, so don't you go anywhere. Welcome back to the Sawyer Center here in Bethany, Oklahoma. Your Crimson Storm fall in a tight one to the SWOSU Bulldogs. They lose 3-1. losing the final set 25-19. It was a tough loss. SNU fought hard, and they had some leads throughout the match, but were unable to close out a couple of sets, and they fall here. SWOSU moves to 9-2 on the season. SNU 6-8 and fall in their first conference match to are now 0-1 in the Great American Conference. Russ, what did you see in that one throughout the match?
Well, recapping there, those four sets of that match for SWOSU. We'll start with SWOSU. Just a really good game played by them all around. You know, they were able to come back. They were able to hold leads. Just really solid in all games of play that we got to see them in against the Storm. I think in the fourth set, you know, we got to see them hold tough during that comeback, but even during the third and second sets, we got to see them coming back from some pretty big deficits, and so that spurtability there really big for SWOSU. Absolutely,
yeah. That second set was kind of the turning point in this one, and that was rough. SNU jumped out to that huge lead, and actually, I believe they were up 11-3 at one point in that second set, and SWOSU came all the way back. They fought all the way back, ended up winning that second set 25-22, and I think even with SNU winning that third set, I think just that took a lot out of them to drop a set like that. So falling 25-22 in that second set really hurt them, and while they got that third set, unable to complete the comeback as they fall in the fourth set 25-19, losing the total match 3-1.
We said at the time, but I really do think that second set was the pivot point right there. You know, the difference between 2-0 and 1-1 was too much for the Storm to overcome tonight. A great match played all around, but you can't help but wonder if it might have been different had a couple of balls fallen their way in that second set.
Absolutely. So with that, we'll go ahead and turn our attention towards the stats real quick and look at those. Run down quickly for SWOSU. Sippa Burgo was their leader in points. She had 15 points and 14 kills throughout the match, so she was a big part of that action. But we saw them spread the ball around quite a bit throughout that match, Russ.
We did. Sippa Burgo, obviously their leader with the 15 points, 14 kills, but they had 6 girls out there who 3 of them were in double digits with the kills and 3 of them with 6 kills. They had their distributor, Hoang, we talked about a lot during the broadcast, but Hoang and those 6 attackers able to get most of the points for the SWOSU Bulldogs.
Absolutely, and then the other big part of that match I think we talked about throughout was those aces that the Bulldogs were able to get. Cody Avery with 4 of those aces, and then Lancaster and Dillon come in with 3 each, 2 for Huang and 1 for Sippa Burgo, which leads to 13 total aces for the Bulldogs. And a lot of them weren't huge serves. They just were poorly returned by the Storm in this one.
Yeah, we talked about it in the fourth set. There was a little string there where the Storm just struggled to return serves, and I think that's where we see girls like Cody Avery and like oh, I'm sorry, I just lost her. Like Huang, who we didn't see a lot of them during regular gameplay, but they came on to take those serves at big times and really stepped up for SWOSU in the serving, and that's what we saw. You know, we talk all the time about the Crimson Storm and their incredible attack game coming behind Bailey Terang, McKenna Hunter, Megan Ellis, but the strong suit for the Bulldogs tonight, their service. They don't make a lot of errors. They make you make errors for them. Just a very clean volleyball team.
Absolutely, they were disciplined, and they, for the most part, were able to stay home and take advantage of SNU's errors. So they did a good job, and those errors we're talking about and how good SWOSU was on the serving on their side. SNU was about as bad on their side, unfortunately, tonight. Looking at them and their service errors in this one, SNU with 8 service errors in this one and only 5 assists. They really struggled in that part of their game today.
Yeah, you know, their service error line looks a lot like the ace line on the other side, and that's something they really need to clean up. Megan Ellis and Bailey Terang with a couple of just run-killing errors.
Absolutely, yeah. That really hurt them throughout this match. But even with that, even with those, you saw a lot of positives for the Storm in this one, and you liked what you saw with their ability to spread out the attack. No surprise, Bailey Terang leads the team in kills as she continues to do one of the top attackers in the entire conference. So she continues to do her job. She had 21.5 points and 20 kills in this one, and in just 4 sets, so that's 5 kills per set today. So she continues to improve that average, continues to rise up the ranks. So she's doing her job. But then alongside of that, we talked about her last week. Kayla Thomas really becoming a huge part of this attack from SNU. She's just a sophomore, but she had 14 more kills in the match tonight.
Yeah, and Kayla Thomas, Megan Ellis, and off and on McKenna Hunter have been really crucial in spacing the floor out and really helping Bailey Terang get her shots. A couple of surprises tonight, though. We saw setter extraordinaire Kylie Smith getting a couple of attacks, 5 kills. But who I really want to talk about right now is Bailey Grimes.
Absolutely. She really shined in this one. Look at what she did. She had 1 solo block and 2 block assists, and those were huge there late in that 3rd set and pulling that out. She had 3. I think all 3 of those came back to back to back. The end of that 3rd set was the Bailey Grimes show.
Oh, absolutely. Not incredible stats for her, but not a lot of playing time. And so, you know, what we saw from her, a lot of potential going forward, and she just really showed me that we've got some potential on that front line and that she's really going to stand up tall here later, hopefully later this season, maybe later in her career too, to get some of those blocks, take some of that kill load once Bailey Terang and others are graduated. But a lot of excitement surrounding Bailey Grimes tonight as – you're right, that 3rd set, she really took over and was the spark plug off the bench.
Absolutely. You love seeing that. And we've seen plenty of playing time from Logan Matthews this year, the other freshman that we've seen, a lot of them. I remember last week we saw some Grace Miracle, another freshman. So you're liking the youth from this SNU team and their ability to get involved in those type of games and really make their impact. It's not just getting playing time, but having the ability to gain that confidence and making such big plays that they've been able to do.
Yeah, that big youth movement, you know, and I mean, we also have got a couple of sophomores making big contributions right now. Names like Kayla Thomas, names like Megan Ellis, 2 big sophomores that have been contributing already early in their careers, and Bailey, or Megan Ellis and Kayla Thomas, not people we think of as with potential, but people we think of as contributors now. And so it's so exciting to see them so dominant so early in their careers here at SNU.
Absolutely. And then you've got some great leadership by Bailey Terang, but she also just a junior, so she still has another year to go. So you've got a lot of excitement moving forward for this team throughout the next few years.
Absolutely.
So with that, we will close out our broadcast. We do want to mention that the Storm, moving forward, they have 3 away games. They've got Oklahoma Baptist, Southeastern Oklahoma State, and Northwestern Oklahoma State. Mentioned 2 of those teams earlier, and they won their conference openers, Oklahoma Baptist and Northeastern Oklahoma State, both starting out the season strong. So those are going to be some tough matchups for the Crimson Storm moving forward. But then September 20th, Thursday, September 20th, we will be back here at the Sawyer Center to bring you some more Crimson Storm action. So make sure you're with us, SNUathletics.com on September 20th. You won't want to miss the action that evening. So for that being said, my name's Philip Yance alongside my broadcast partner, Russ Frisbee. We hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful evening, and bolts up.